right. A little bit early, but that's okay. Hey, Nicole, can you hear me okay? Hi, Dawn. Guys, let me know if you can hear me okay. Hi, Elba. Elba, how did you cut your flap wrong? Did you not tape them together right here? And your sides? I know I almost did the same thing. Sound is good? Good. Not too loud? I got my camera sitting really tall. Oh dear, not good. And you noticed it when you, oh, please ignore the state. My floor is so bad. I didn't get a chance to vacuum today, so please ignore the state of my floor. I had my camera up higher so you could see that, but it was just too high. So maybe if I move my chair. There, now I've disguised the dirty floor. Oh my, Elba, do you have leftover material to recut those pieces? Iced coffee needed today. Hi, Anna. How was your day? We're early birds today, holy. Oh, nice, Alba. You have a hot coffee? Well, this is actually coffee left over from this morning, and I don't like to waste it, so I make it into an iced coffee and then put like French vanilla cremo in it. So actually, it's more like I use the cremo to latte it. Any of you sewing along with me today? And we look forward to having you in class today, Alba. Excellent. It's still freakishly warm here for October. Like, well, I shouldn't say that. It's 18 degrees, but usually, yeah, it's a lot colder than that. Getting excited. 48 more sleeps to Bali. You're going to hear Benny scratching at the door. He's trying to be a little herding dog. He doesn't want me working today. I opened the door and then he runs around my feet and then he tries to get me to go upstairs. So Riley's upstairs. Benny will probably scratch at that door for a little bit and then he'll give up. Oh, Elba, it would look amazing in a contrast vinyl. Sometimes mistakes are meant to happen. Dandelion tea? I never thought about drinking dandelions before. I've been up since 4:45 this morning. Dave is really noisy in the morning when he's getting ready for work, and then he gets the dogs all woken up, and then they wake me up, so. But I got some work done before I went to the dentist today, which was good. Oh, Benny. He's going to keep scratching and scratching. What we're going to start with today is actually the flap. The flap, I think, is the hardest part of the whole bag. So we're going to get the flap out of the way and maybe the front slip pocket, and that'll be the day today. The rest of it goes together pretty easy. I should put the bag over here so everybody can see it. Oh, I didn't mean to come on so early. Holy moly. I thought it was like 5 to 4, but it's like 13 minutes to 4. What was everybody sewing today? I just did the homework for both of the classes. So I did all my interfacings. I did all of my edge coating. I didn't make straps. I should probably do that. And then tomorrow I'll be making a Rudinasia for a client. And then Thursday I'll be cutting out that Trailblazer for a client that I'm going to do the tutorial of. She has added in a bunch of extra pockets, one of them being a cell phone slip pocket, so I may show how I do that in that video. We'll see. And then Saturday I'm helping my mom with a craft market with her crochet business. And then Sunday we're taking mom out for an early birthday dinner. I'm busy, busy. Not quite as busy of a week as I usually have though, so it's kind of nice. Now somebody's at my door. Riley will get it. Both boys are home today, so. But yeah, I think that was an Amazon delivery. Riley's getting it. You probably hear him thumping down the stairs. I just walked by my window. I think it might be mail for... I'm always looking to see if it's mail for me or mail for the boys. He didn't come downstairs, so... Well, maybe he is. Is it for me? Is it mail for me? Oh, I got lots. Okay, bring it in. It's fine. Are you dressed? Bring it in. Bring it in. Come say hi. That's Riley, everybody. Did you see the creepy hand there? He's such a geek. What did I get? Mail. Oh, my passport's here. My passport's here. Yay. Oh my gosh. This is such good news because we couldn't book my tickets to Bali until my passport came, and it's come early. What's this other thing? Ooh. Who wants me to do a mail opening? This is my passport. Oh, Brady. Okay, so Dawn's asking how Brady's TikTok went. Now, my youngest son, he is a influencer on Twitch, actually, with his card gaming and his video gaming. Actually, I think his mail opening he did today was for his card game he plays, which is called Force of Will, I believe it's called. So that was on Discord, and he really wanted to do a mail opening for his group because it's a group that he leads. It has about 100 people or so in it. So he kicked me out of my studio so he could use my tabletop camera. But do you know what? That webcam is actually his, so it's all good. Oh, I'm so excited! Look! I can travel! Yay! Canadian passport! Ew, that picture is terrible. Okay, I have to take a picture of this and send it to my sister-in-law quick. Yeah. So, get Kristen, because they need to book my ticket. I don't know if they can see that. No, let's retake that. The light is shining on it. I'm so excited. This wasn't supposed to be here till the 20th, so this is so good. Okay. Yay! Sorry, guys. I've got to put this somewhere where the light's not going to shine on it when I send it to her. It's all rainbowish. Holy. There we go. Alrighty. So I can send that to my sister-in-law, and then she can book the tickets. Woohoo! Passport. This is my second passport I've ever had. I never used the first one, so this is exciting. Now I need to make a passport holder for that. Where am I going to put this where I don't lose it? Put it right there. All right. I'm opening my other mail while we wait. This isn't sewing related, what's in here. I know most of you know I probably I knit, so not that I needed more skeins of yarn, but my cousin's friend owns yarn spinning and dyeing company out of Alberta. So I ordered some sock yarn. So I got this one. This one's called, what's this one called? Classic Cruiser. And I got this one, which is called Sally Skellington. I just ordered these on Friday. That's why I'm so surprised they're here. Yeah, I'll be making a passport holder for myself, Dawn. And I got this one. I love this one. So I have a 22-hour flights. I know I can take knitting on the plane. So I'm going to be making Christmas socks. From one skein, I can get 2 pairs of ankle socks. I'll show you. These are the socks I make. These ones are all fuzzy. See, I'm showing you my sexy feet. But I only wear my own knit socks. So, yay, that's exciting. But I'm going to put those back in here because I'm going to do it as a mail opening maybe later. Now that you all think I'm totally weird. Sorry, just talking to my sister-in-law. She's going to get our tickets all booked up. I'm excited. Sorry. Now I could do my girls' week in Florida too. Good thing Riley answered it because I think he had to sign for it. Okay, let me just go put these. You love yarn? Let me go put this where I'm not going to lose it because I will. I'll put this here. I'm going to put this over here. All right. Gosh, everything's so messy. It's funny because I just put in a query today to ask whereabouts my processing was for my passport. So there it is. That's exciting. Hi, Kim. Okay, so who's sewing along with me today? Kim, are you going to be sewing along or are you working? I know Anna's working on other stuff. I don't know what Nicole's plan is. I'm so excited my passport came. Yay. Turn this around so you can't see my dirty floor again. Hi, Lisa. You're going to try to sew, Kim? Okay. At least you got to wait a little bit earlier than normal. So Kim, possibly. Lisa, are you sewing along with us today? Dawn, are you sewing along? I know Dawn's admitting, but she can still sew if she wanted to. As the chat goes silent. It was a crazy day. Aw, I kept thinking today was Monday because yesterday was our Thanksgiving here in Canada. So all day long I'm like, it's Monday. And then I'm like, oh man, it's Tuesday. I have class tonight. I have to remember to go to class. So I'm missing a day. Yeah, I actually took yesterday off. I worked, well, Friday. What did I do Friday? I did work Friday. I went for my 4th COVID booster on Friday. And then I worked the afternoon. And then Saturday I worked as well, but I wasn't feeling well because of the booster, but I just sucked it up because I had to get some work done. Sunday I worked the morning, and then in the evening we went to my parents for Thanksgiving dinner. And then yesterday I actually took the whole day off. I did a little bit of English paper piecing. I did a lot of English paper piecing. I almost finished a project in front of the TV, and I binged 2 seasons of The Crown. Hi, Diane. Diane, have you gone down south yet, or are you still up here? I know Diane's already finished her Melanie bag. It looks amazing. Yeah, on Saturday I wasn't well. I know I worked, but I wasn't feeling very well. Hi, Annie. Annie, are you sewing along with us today? Oh no, Kim, COVID in the hospital? Oh, Don says I got 3 packages today. Emmeline fabric impressions on my banner for my market. Yay, exciting. I'm so excited for your first market. Diane. I got lots of people coming on today. This is good. Annie's watching. You leave on Sunday, Diane. Do you go down to Arizona? I wish you could bring your Titan with you. Diane, you sold your Melanie already? Amazing. You're going to have to make more. I think it's going to be a great selling bag, to be honest. I have somebody that wants this yellow one when classes are over, so hopefully they still want it. Because I won't sell it to anybody until after classes because it's my demo bag. Oh, Don, yeah, yay. Don sold an H2O bag. And you'll get caught up after class. Sounds good. Alba's going to sew along-ish. I guess you have to recut your flap, hey? Florida. Diane, I'm probably going to Florida in February. What part of Florida are you going to be staying in when you fly south for the winter? Diane, are you buying a Titan in for your Florida home? Diane, when you finish yours, did you top stitch these areas around here? Did you leave it sticking out? Now, Diane and I were talking after class, and she actually was so kind and pointed out, I forgot to mention it in class. So these side panels in the pattern, you do not need to put foam in them. I put foam in this one originally because I wasn't going to top stitch around the sides. I was going to leave them popped out for the version 1 finish. If doing the version 1 finish, I would say definitely put the foam in. If you are doing this top stitch around so they tuck in, I wouldn't put foam on the sides. I would leave them off unless you're using a softer vinyl. Now, I use Mora in this one, which is a softer vinyl, so I use the foam anyways just because I didn't want it to slouch at all. But yes, if you are making this on a domestic machine, and you're going to be sewing doing this top stitch around here to make these stick in, I wouldn't put foam on the side panels, if that makes sense. So thank you so much, Diane, for sending me that email, because I completely forgot to mention that in class, and you caught that for me. I appreciate that so much. I did leave a note on the YouTube newsfeed for our memberships and on the Facebook page, but just in case you didn't catch it. Ah, yes, understand, Diane. So it looks so beautiful either way, like so good. But I betcha with this one, without the foam in those sides, that top stitching around the side is going to be a lot easier for me this time. Diane, sometimes what I do on my Titan when I'm scared that the vinyl is going to stick, I actually will oil the vinyl with some sewing machine oil, and it helps go over it better, I think. In my head it does. Hi, Wanda. Wanda, are you sewing along with us today? Diane, how far is Ormond Beach from Orlando? You didn't put foam in the sides? Did it stand up okay? I'm curious. This is the only one I made. So, and again, the pattern didn't call for that, but I was worried with my Mora being so light, but. And did you put foam in your front pocket? It's optional foam for the front pocket. I'm asking Diane these questions because she finished her Melanie bag already. So, yeah, she did a few things different than I did with this. So I'm just curious with this one. So I'm curious how it works out, because I mean, sometimes it takes making one or two to find out what you like about it and what you would do differently. So I just like everybody's input for that. So yeah, thank you so much, Diane, for emailing me about that. That was perfect. That's exactly what I need. All right, so we'll just give it another couple minutes to see who pops in. Elba and Kim, how close are you to home? Oh, is that 1.5 hours north? I think that we're going to Orlando when we go. And we're probably going to go visit Melissa at So Yours. I forget where she lives. I think she lives about 45 minutes south of Orlando, maybe. I don't know. Awesome, Diane. It was much better with the slip pocket without the foam, correct? That's the same as what I thought too. Okay, Kim just got there. All right, we'll let Kim get situated. Elba, I think, is still driving home, and Kim's going to try to sew along with me. As I was saying earlier, if you hadn't joined us right in the beginning, we are going to start with the flap assembly. The flap, I find, is the hardest part of this bag, so I kind of want to get it out of the way. Oh, Diane's by Daytona Beach. Okay. Yeah, I still don't know where that is. I have to really look at a map. I don't know the U.S. at all. I just know that I'm going to Florida. Oh, Anna says Melissa's about 1 hour west of Orlando. So that's just showing Anna and I are going to Florida together. Oh, good. I'm glad that your handles are coming, Wanda from Bringberry. Absolutely. She would have been right in the middle of, what was that, Hurricane Ian or whatever it was, for sure, because she's in the Maritimes there. So I bet you they get to you fast now. I mean, her shipping's pretty fast. I had mine, I think, within 10 days or so, but that was just before the hurricane hit. So we'll give it till about 10 after, and then we will get started. So what I will be showing you is based on your handles, how to determine how big to cut out your handle cutout hole, because I did not cut mine big the first time around and I had to finagle figure it out. I actually contacted Bethany at Catsiopia to try to wrap my mind around how to fix it, and it was super easy. Yeah, maybe, Diane, for sure. We'll let you know when we're down there. Could be fun. I'm not driving, so I can't really volunteer anything. Yay. Oh, I gotta get into a sewing mood. Holy moly. Alrighty. Let me get somewhat organized here. I have a really cool, I should show you guys. No, I can't show you. Here you go. My husband went to a Princess Auto sale and he got me this rolling cart on wheels, which is awesome. So it's another table that I can move wherever I need it to be. He was going to keep it for his own shop, and I'm like, no, I want that, thank you. So he gave it to me. It was like the scratch and dent sale at Princess Auto. This was a $300 cart for 25 bucks. Score! It has scrapes on it, it has dents on it, and I don't care. It does a wonderful job. Anna says, Diane, that would be fun. We would love to meet up. Yay! I needed Anna to say that because when we go, Anna is going to be the one driving, not me. So I don't want to make all these plans and then put them on her. But yeah, it'll be fun. Let's do like a little video or something. It could be a blast. Okay, another 2 minutes and then we're going to get started. So just Kim and Alba sort of sewing along with me today. Diane finished her dandelion. We'll send pictures working on the Callie. Oh, nice. The Callie crossbody. You can see my Callie sitting back right there. That is a really fast sew, and it is a really fun sew. Minimal interfacing. I really love that hidden pocket. If you guys didn't see the tutorial I just posted, I was really happy of Melissa sew yours. Once again, let me do the launch with her. Diane's trying to get everything, all of her class bags done before she flies south for the winter. And then she's going to be buying her other, Diane just bought a Titan up here in Canada, and she's buying another one for down south. So that's really cool. But I'm so happy you're still going to be sewing with us while you're in Florida. That's awesome. All right. Well, I think we have everybody that's going to join. Let me just throw this down there. Okay. So we are going to be starting with our flaps. Where's my mouse? Lost my mouse again. Let me put us down to the split table. Okay. So I've already got my flaps and everything here. Is that bright enough, or do I need to turn the light on, or is that good? Oh, I'm very, very excited. So I'm hoping it works. Dave's going to install it for me next weekend. But for this camera here, I got a stand that hangs from the roof. So, because I have to lean way over the table like this to work, where if I hang it from the roof, it will be centered to the table and a little bit better for me to see, and it won't be on this funky angle. And then hopefully we won't get the bongo sound because of the table bumping the stand. So I think it's going to be really good. Wanda, love the bag and the tutorial for the new Callie. Already bought the pattern. Awesome. Oh, so you watched my tutorial, or did you watch Melissa's tutorial? Diane, I don't know how close Sunny Sewing, I think it's called, is, and they sell the Juki 1540 ones there, or the Juki 1350 ones, 1340 ones, and they're similar to the Titans, but I think Titan is just sold in Canada. If you want a machine that's almost identical to the Titan, is the Thor. I think they sell those at Sunnyside. Is it called Sunnyside Sewing, guys? Sunny Sewing. It's where Lauren got her machines from. Oh yes, absolutely done. So yeah, the Titan and the Thor are pretty much identical. Like when I got my Titan, and I couldn't find any videos on the Titan, I looked up Thor videos and they're pretty much almost exactly the same. They're more similar. The Titan and the Thor are more similar than, say, the Juki and the Titan. But Rodney will also ship a Titan to the States for you if you wanted to buy through him up here. Sunny Sewing Machines, that's what it's called. Okay, cool. My table's shaking. I'm sorry. Oh, what is she barking at now? Let me look. Oh, I got more mail. Oh my gosh. I wonder if that mail's for me. Okay, let's get started. Let me just double check. Again, I'm going to be reading the instructions because we're doing this different. So, is everybody doing the top handles, and where did you get your handles from? So I'm using these Bringberry handles. So I had to do my hole different because you're going to see here when you have them side by side, my handles are too wide for this cutout hole. So I've made notes somewhere that I got to cut it bigger. I had to cut them 6 inches by 1 inch. Hi, Coco. Yeah, it's because the mail, I think the mail was for my son there. So for my Bringberry handles, what I did was I just put them up against this. So for the actual handles that are in the pattern, they're really, really, really skinny ones. And so she has her cut out, it's like 5 by 3/4 of an inch. And all that opening does is fit my one handle. Okay, so Annie, you'll want to double check your handles in that opening. And you will be cutting that opening depending on how big that is, okay? No handles on yours, Elba, so you're going to be skipping this part altogether. You're just going with the crossbody version, so you can sit back and relax until we get to the part where we are putting on our magnetic snaps, which we might do first. This bag is gorgeous. It's just a crossbody too. So to decide, actually, I wonder, okay, I cut mine just barely big enough. I didn't think about that. So the way I decided how big to be drawing my opening on the back of here is I kind of said, okay, so these are 5 inches, just over 5 inches long. So I'm going to cut my opening on the back of my flaps, or my, what are these called? Flap facings, to about 6. And then when I put them up against my board here, I can see they fit really nicely in a 1 inch thing. So about 1/8 of an inch or so higher. So I'm going to be drawing my opening 6 inches by 1 inch on the back of this. And I'm really hoping that I cut these good enough. So this is our flap facing. Okay, cut your flap again while we do this part. So on the back of our flap facings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I cut it big enough. I'm just going to use my 1 inch by 6 inch ruler. Again, you'll want to figure out what, where's my pen? About how big you want that to be. Oh, Dawn, what happened was Elba cut her pieces. Remember in the cutout class, I was saying how they, in Cassiopeia patterns, she doesn't put the little marks on her pieces that you need to join. So she cut out her flap and her side pieces without putting the tops on. And do you know what, Elba? I did the exact same thing. All right, so centered somewhat on the back of these, I am going to draw my 6 inch by 1 inch opening. Just to have them ready to go. So you kind of have to decide what your things are going to fit in side by side. And that opening works for me pretty good. So you can put those aside for now. Next, we're going to take out our foam one. So this is where it gets a little confusing if you're adjusting that size. So I'm going to go and I'm going to find my centers. I'm going to make sure my red pen does not touch my white. can you make one handle from the vinyl instead of using metal handles? Alba, I'm not too sure how you would attach them. You could try to just do one that kind of you pin on the top, similar to, what bag did we just do that we did that on? Did we just do that on a bag? Where you could hook just on the vinyl, but to go through that hole, the way the connectors go on, I'm not too sure. Well, I guess you can make vinyl connecting straps, but or just connect them directly onto the main panels. That would probably work. But yeah, you'll have to adjust the pattern in order to do that. Okay, so let's find our centers of our top of this. So I'm just going to fold it in half and do my snip. I'm also going to do it in this bottom one too for when we go to do our magnetic snap. Just so we know where that is. Okay. So on the back side, now, because I want to do a 1 inch by 6 inch, and hers is a 5 inch by 3/4 inch, I have to change this a little. So I'm just going to mark my center mark of this way and this way. So that's center-ish to this cutout piece, and this is the center here. And then what I'm going to do on the back of that is I'm going to take my ruler here, because this is the exact same shape I want to be cutting it. So I'm matching it up at my halfway mark to get my 6 inch by 1 inch box. Because we still want it to be placed in the same spot as this one was. We just want it to be a little bit bigger. Oh, I see what you mean, Alba. Make a matching necessary clutch wallet with it, like with the flap or something like that. Okay, so this is what I mean. See how this cutout is kind of, we want it to be centered with this cutout, but I had to cut it wider and longer. So that's how I decided how to do that. Does that make sense what I just did, or did I just confuse everybody 100%? You just want to make sure you're definitely centered. 2.5 and 2.5 on AM. Okay, so did that make sense how I decided how to make it so it's big enough for my handles here? Totally makes sense. Okay, cool. Okay, so next what we want to do on our main panel, I'm always scared I'm going to get red pen on this. Now, I don't want to be cutting through this part, the vinyl part. I only want to cut through the foam. So I'm going to kind of just grab my foam up and pull it away like that. And I'm going to put a snip in here. And all we're doing in this square, without cutting our vinyl, is we want to cut out that foam. Diane, because you've made this, if you found any easy way of doing any of this, please do chime in and let us know. Sometimes having another person that's made it with a different set of eyes definitely helps. If you came across anything, definitely try to teach us. Make sense, Kim? Okay, totally. Cool. Okay, so we want to just cut that out like so. All right. Not going to be sewing along just yet. Okay, so I will just continue on. I'm just going to kind of reacquaint myself here. I'm going to get to the flap section. Okay, so I guess we didn't have to draw these lines on the back of this one yet because we're going to be sewing them on. Okay, so what we want to do is now we're going to take this flat part. You did it like me, okay? And did it seem to work that way, okay? The way I explained it? So we're going to take this exterior flat piece, we're going to flip it over, and we are going to take this piece, which I drew the lines on already. The lines are good for the lining piece. We didn't really need to do it for this one. But you're going to kind of feel where that hole is because you cut away the foam, and you want to make this as centered as it can. You want to make sure, I guess you can kind of match that up like that. You want to make sure it's centered, so we're going to be sewing through this facing. Once you have that, you can always use a little bit of double-sided tape to stick it in there. We're going to be cutting the center out here momentarily. But I'm just going to use some pins. I will be poking through my vinyl. That's okay because that part will go away here soon. Now, I didn't cut these very big. I'm only going to have like a 1/2 inch on either side. So I just got to make sure that I have a little bit of excess on either side of these lines here and either side of the cutout. And when I have it kind of where I want it to go, I'm going to stick some pins in there just to hold it in place. This facing does not need to be straight by any means. This is just a facing to cover up the raw edges. Okay, come on. I don't use pins very often, as you can probably tell. And you'll see here, those pins go through my back here. Okay, so set that aside for now. We're going to do this one and this one at the same time. So once again, I'm going to go, which way are we going to go? Thinking. Trying to remember which way I did this. I think I did it on this side. So we want to do kind of the same idea with this side. But of course we're going to use an erasable pen here. Or some chalk. I'm going to once again find where those centers are because I got to draw a bigger hole. Actually, I don't really need to draw a hole here. I just need this to be centered on it. So I'm just going to mark where my 6-inch lines are. And we want this to be right sides together, somewhat centered down. Okay. I know this is kind of a finagled way of doing it, but it's how you can get it so it's going to fit in there okay. So you can see how I folded my facing in half. Okay. I've marked it with that half mark, and then I'm going to fold it open like so and paste some pins in it. So again, it took me, I actually had to contact Bethany to wrap my head around how I was going to do this. It's super easy. It just, I overthink things, like totally overthink things to make that opening bigger. But you needed the placement to be the same. So the only thing we want to make sure is that this is super straight. So I drew that line on here, so I'm going to make sure that that's pretty straight, and I am. It's right up along here, I can see. So I'm nice and centered there. Another thing we want to make sure is that these are kind of the same place. And they are. You want to make sure these are perfectly centered. From there to there is 2.5. From there to there is 2.5. So I should be good. Because we want these to line up when we put them together. So take your time just to measure to make sure things look good. 7-ish. Whoops, what did I read there? You can kind of tell when you lay them down together beside each other. Oops. 5-ish. Read the wrong side of the ruler. 5-ish down. So we're going to be good. Okay. Have I confused everybody altogether, or did that make sense? This is why I wanted to start with this, because getting it so it fits the handles is the hardest part. And I can definitely see it's going to. See? Whee! Diane, you may be a beginner, but you've made this bag and you are doing amazingly well. And as a beginner, I haven't been a beginner for a few years, so you may have come across something that could definitely help other beginners that I may have not noticed, such as the foam in the sides. I didn't explain why I put foams in the sides. So, okay. So now that we have these, we're going to go to the machine. And on this one, we're just going to stitch. So these are right sides together. We're just going to stitch around that box, just like we would be doing if we were doing a zipper. This one, we are going to put on our, which zipper foot? Our left zipper foot if you have it. And we're not going to sew through this foam. We're going to sew just on the inside of this foam. So I'm going to be putting my zipper foot right up against this foam and sewing the box using that line as my guide to sew just inside. And what that's also going to do is that's going to be sewing this box for us on this side. Okay? So I could tell I'm not that straight here, but it's going to catch everything. This one important to be straight. This one, it doesn't matter so much because we are going to be sewing through this side. So let's flip on over there as soon as I can find my mouse, because it always, there it is. Oh, hi, Frankie. Okay, when you make yours, make sure you holler out if you need any help. Okay, so before I change my zipper foot for this into my zipper foot for this one, I'm going to go ahead and do my lining piece first and stitch it. So it's just like when we do a zipper pocket. Oh, it might help if I turn my machine on. Of course, I don't have my phone set up so I can see this chat. I'll take a look in a moment. Again, it's my Monday. I'm just so thrown off with the stat that we just had that I keep thinking it's Monday. Okay. I know you're not going to really be able to see it because I used white thread, but it's all stitched around that block. Okay, let me just grab my phone so I can find, so I can see the chat when I'm over here. Take me 2 seconds, sorry guys. There it is. Okay, that's better. Stay there. Okay. And now for the one that's a little bit different. So again, I'm putting on my left zipper foot, so the one that has it on the left hand side. Frankie, I love that you join us, even if you're not sewing right now. I have solidified my membership surprises for December for what will launch the first week of December for you guys while I am away. I think you will like what I've chosen. I hope. I'm hoping they'll be fun. Dom's admitting for me today. I hope Dom makes this bag. All right. So this is what I was saying. The side of my zipper foot here. So this is my walking foot side here. This is my other side. I am going to take it and I'm putting it not on the foam, just right up next to the foam there, just like so. And that is going to catch our facing on the bottom as well. And we're just going to follow that foam opening all the way around. if I have my iron on. I might have to go look. Make sure you don't catch that foam. We're just going on the inside of that foam. So most of this class, I think, is going to be just on this flap. And seriously, the rest of the bag, once we're past this flap, goes together really fast. Okay. Alrighty. Table. All right, I gotta take a drink before we move further. So you can definitely see from my stitching, maybe you can't, that I didn't have my facing on there straight, but that's okay. We're going to be using those stitches as our guide. But I will show you on this one because it's a little easier to see. I'll just double check her measurements because I don't want to go off her pattern too much. Bear with me. Where is her flap assembly? Here we go. Sometimes I end up going rogue and I'm like, sometimes that's not great, especially when I'm really not that familiar with the pattern. No. Okay. So I'm going to take this one and show, because we'll be doing the exact same thing with the exterior, okay? Where'd my little ruler go? I'm not used to my blue card here yet. So it wants us to measure in 1/2 inch. Okay, so we're doing this just like we do when we do a zipper pocket with a turned facing. See, I didn't leave myself very much to work with on the side, but that's okay. So for this one, that red line I have here, my stitching is right on it. That's what I'm going to show you on this one. This one, I will be following my stitching too, but I had a little off kilter. So from the left and right stitching sides, we're going to measure in 1/2 inch. From both sides. And then whatever the center is of this, if you're following the pattern, it was a 3/4 of an inch rectangle that you made, so you would be drawing a 3/8 of an inch center line. Mine is 1 inch, so I'm going to use a 1/2 of an inch center line. And then of course you're going to do your V's out to the stitching. And then we're going to cut that out. So as you all know, I like to go in with my rotary cutter first, just to get that started. And then go in with my scissors, cut into the V's as close as you can to the stitching without cutting the stitching. Okay, and then we're going to turn this through that hole. I'm going to take this one and press it. This one, when I do it, I'm honestly going to probably use double-sided tape to hold it in place just because I am using the bonded leather and I don't really want to take it to the iron. But this, you're going to go ahead and you're going to press this opening nicely, like so. Again, I'm wishing I left myself just a teeny tiny bit more on these sides, but it'll still be okay. So it's like that. Okay, so I am hoping I turned my, whatchamacallit on, my iron on. We will find out. So I'm going to press this one, and then I'll come back and I will do the vinyl one after. Try to make it so I don't cover my iron with my chair. No, that's going to cover it. There we go. Okay. Yay, I did turn it on. good press. Hot, hot, hot. I love this iron so much. But man, it's hot. Okay. Look at that seam. Can't see the chat from here. My eyes aren't that good, but I will check it all later if you guys are chatting away. Oopsies, causing wrinkles. Looking good. Getting it to lay nice and flat with minimal wrinkles if possible. Hot, hot, hot. Good enough. Okay. Mondo waterproof, let me try that again. Waterproof canvas would be great. It would help it with its stand-up ability for sure. Absolutely can. Okay. Put this back down. So that's what this looks like. So you can set that aside for now. And we're going to do the same thing on this one. Again, it's going to look funny because I'm not following my red draw lines here. I'm following my stitch lines because that's where we want the opening to be. I know my stitch lines are nice and straight. At least I hope they are. Being very careful with my red pen here. Okay, I'm going to draw my halfway marks from my stitching. You know what? I'm going to use this pen. Just in case. I don't want to get it on my, so from there to there. And again, it's not matching up with those red lines I drew because it didn't line up with my stitching. I'm doing it with my stitching. My stitching may be a little off too, but that's okay. Half inch, half inch. Oops. Out to my V's, out to my V's. I may be a little crooked. I'm just going to double check something here in case I need to fix something. Do you know what? My stitching did go a little crooked, so I'm going to go back in and fix that. I want to go around there. So what happened on this side, can you see that? One side went kind of oblong this way, so I got to go back in because I want that to be straight. You can see, so my stitching's going like this here. I kind of lost control. So I'm going to go back in and I'm going to straighten out that line because I need that handle to be straight. So that's me correcting something. All right. So I will go back in and do that. Tiffany. Okay. There we go. I just didn't get close enough to where I needed it to be. My line wasn't super straight. But it should be now. Now I just got to make sure I choose the right line. Let me see if I can steam some of this away. No. Okay. So again, you're not going to be able to see my stitching very good here. So I'm going to go back in, make sure that is straighter. 5 and 5. Still didn't get it super straight. Oh, maybe. One inch. Oh, it is. It's just steep sieving. That's okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. But I got myself all wonky because of the lines I drew on here. So now you're going to cut through here just like we did with that other one. And it should be right in that hole. Where'd my scissors go? As close as we can to the stitching. Okay, so this is a little bit harder when you're using vinyl. I'm hoping my hole is straight. Oh, I think it is. You can tell from here. Yeah, I'm good. My lines really had me thrown for a loop. So again, you can go ahead and press this. I actually think I'm going to, does it tell you to, where do my instructions go? There they are. Trim any of that away. Nope. Okay, so you're going to pull that facing through the hole. Now on this one, you want to kind of make sure you're pulling the facing nice and tight because you don't necessarily want too much of it showing through this side unless you kind of want that faux piping look. You can definitely press it, but I am actually going to use some double-sided tape to hold mine in place. I think that, yes, Kim, I agree. Either cotton or waterproof canvas works. Both will be lovely. Okay, so oops, I'm gonna have to do 2 layers. So again, you can definitely go ahead and press this instead if you wanted to. I'm just going to use the double-sided tape because it doesn't matter if I sew through it. My machine will do it just fine. I just want to make sure that's pulled nice and tight there. And we're not going to be sewing it in place for a little bit, so you'd really want it to be holding okay. So that's one side there. And this is the hardest part, I find, 100%. Ooh, I'm hot after playing over that steam iron. Okay, so I'll do this part first. Flipping over. And you may have an easier way of doing this. Do it however you like when it comes to holding the facing back. I can't even remember how I did it in the tutorial, to be honest. I think I did it this way. But we won't be top stitching this until the last part of doing the flap, so you just really want to make sure it sticks out of the way. And this is going to be where I wish that I cut this just a smidgen bigger. I'm actually going to cut some of these V's away here, reduce some of that bulk, because I didn't give myself very much working room with this little bit of because I'm going to have to top stitch to that through that later. So I will catch what I can. So note to self, I should have cut my facing a little bit bigger for this. But we'll make it work. Stick, stick, stick. Double-sided tape is my friend. Look at that. And I'm only cutting these little these away because I only have like a 1/2 inch to work with my facing coming through, because I did not cut mine long enough. Should have cut it about 1 inch longer. Well, Kim, why don't you do waterproof canvas for your mains and then just do like your zipper pockets and everything in cotton? Do your pocket linings in cottons and your main stuff in waterproof canvas. Okay, so that is what that looks like if all stays where it's supposed to. And then, moment of truth, when you put these on top of each other, yay, they should match up. And then just double check that both your handles will definitely fit in that hole, which mine do. Lots of tape. Hey, Diane, you did the same thing? Yeah. Okay. So now we want to do this lining, and we want to find a pattern piece again. And I'm going to use the back. Actually, I forgot to mark my centers, so let's mark our centers on our lining piece. Oh my gosh. I'm just sweating after using that steam iron. Whew. And on this bottom piece too. Just a little bit. Okay. So we're going to use our snap placement here. So I'm going to line up my centers here. Centers and centers. And then I'm just going to mark, as per the pattern piece, where my snap's going to go, right there. On the lining side, we're going to make sure that's nice and centered. 1 3/8, 1 3/8, perfect. And then we are going to put on the male side of our magnetic snap right there. So let me grab out my male side. So that's the one with the little nubby on it. Whew, warmth. And I'm also going to make sure I back it with a piece of scrap deckable heavy. Everything making sense so far? Now, I'm just going along because I don't think anybody is sewing along with me right now. If you need me to stop, please stop me, okay? Otherwise, I'm just going to keep plugging along. Where is my, there it is. Aw, Kim. Did you guys like the Odie coat video? I said I do not use Odie coat very often, only when I'm using light colored cottons because they get dirty so fast. Otherwise, I honestly, like, ouch, that something was sharp in there. In my 4 years of sewing bags, that is my second jar only. So I don't do it a lot. It just seems I'm doing it a lot lately. That is something that I actually have as an add-on for my clients if they want their fabric to be waterproofed like that. And then I charge depending on how much I'm going to be using. So for like the dandelion and even the Melanie, because it's only 2 panels, I charge a $5 upcharge only to do that. If it's a bigger bag, you kind of just use your judgment to where you want to do it. Okay, I'll put that on there. Oh, I can tell I harvested this magnetic snap from another bag that I ended up throwing away. Okay, that's okay. I've been harvesting some of my older bags for hardware, but everything is banged out of shape because I'm doing that. And I didn't have another rose gold magnetic snap. Come on. There we go. Sorry for banging. Okay, so that's the male side done. Oh, sorry. And over my little slits, I just did a little bit of fray check because this is cotton, just to make sure there was no, just to make sure there'll be no fraying underneath there. And just a little bit of tape to hold that in place. All right. Whew, warmth. Now, let me just clear off some of my workspace here. Look at the pattern to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So bear with me for a moment. So you can. Okay. Are we ready for me to move on? You guys good? Do you need me to slow down? We good to go to the next step? Trying to find a home for my rulers so I don't lose them. No comments, so I'm going to assume we are good to go. Okay, so next what we want to do is, now we're going to put these wrong sides together like this. I'm not going to worry too much about lining up the sides. If they're off by a little bit, that's okay. I'm going to concentrate on lining up this hole. So again, the right sides together. We will be clipping and unclipping this so many times, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of align our whole edges up like so. And just secure with some clips. Same with up here. Because it's very important that this hole lines up on our lining and our exterior side. Oh, I'm going to be so mad at myself when it comes to top stitching that. It'll get done, but I'm going to be mad at myself, I can tell, because I did not give myself enough. I'll just be very aware of it, that's for sure. Okay, so once you have that and that looks good, you can go ahead and clip around everywhere else, all the way around. I'm just going to try to pull my lining down just a smidgen here. And if you're out, see how I'm out just like a little itty bitty bit here? That's okay, because we're going to be going with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance all the way around. It's just important that this part here lines up pretty perfect. Okay. Match up the center. I'm still pretty good. You can just see how my lining may be a little bit bigger. That's okay. And I'm just putting a few clips in the top. We are going to leave this top open for turning, but I am just securing it with some clips, but we're not going to sew through the top here. Okay. I am down to like only that many clips. I used to have like 3 bowls full. I must have went through a ton the last little while. I have to order some more. Or they're all over my floor. But I know I've been breaking a lot lately. It's like they get to a certain age, the cheap ones, and then you have to order more. I just buy the $15 pack of 100 from Amazon, but I think I need more. How's everybody doing? Everybody's so quiet. Flying clips everywhere. I think I broke a ton with the last month's bags, the Take 3 and the Daryl's Drive. I think I just broke a million clips. So, and they start like this one. I can tell is going to break soon because it's kind of weird. That's why I don't buy the expensive ones. Okay, I'm just going to double check my seam allowance. I believe it's 3/8, but I'm going to make sure. Whew, I'm warm. Two sides and bottom top open. Yep, 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So we're going to leave this top open and we're going to go all the way around the rest, following the shape of whatever flap that you chose, all the way around. Yeah, I know I have clips on the floor too, but yay. Wanda, you absolutely will survive. Just take it slow. That's why we're doing it first. And then the rest of the bag is, whoops, easy peasy. And this isn't even that hard. It's just because my handles are different size and everybody's handles may be a different size than what the pattern says. So it's just best to show my process. And I mean, my process may not be your process, but it's what worked for me. And you always have me for support. We can even FaceTime if you need it. I actually just had a FaceTime with Lise not too long ago, which was nice. You know what? I'm going to switch out of my zipper foot so I have a little bit more control here. And you have the group, Wanda. We're all here to support each other and give each other votes of confidence. That's for sure. Where's my regular foot? There it is. You know me. I like to change out my feet all the time. It's just finicky. It's not hard. It's just finicky. Okay, so leaving the top open here, and we're going to go around the rest with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. You bought the same handles as mine, so I did your math for you. Just make sure you cut your facings 1 inch longer too. That's what I didn't do here, and I'm going to be mad at myself. And again, the facings don't have to be neat or pretty or anything like that. Is that 3/8? Not quite. One more. Perfect. Ooh, my hair's tickling my nose. I'm not picking my nose, I'm just scratching it. Not that you can see that from here, but okay, I've got to be very aware of where my magnetic snap is, that you don't sew through it by accident. It should just clear it. If you're doing the back flap, you may want to move your snap up just a little bit. I think it says in the pattern to move it up like 1/2 inch or something like that, just because there's not much sewing room there on the bat flap. It's really hard to say bat flap. Holy moly. Sticking to my tape. All right. You can't see my face. Yeah, I was scratching my nose. Okay. All right. So that is what we have. Okay. Again, I'm just referring to the pattern a little bit more than I usually do, mainly because I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So you can see here, I caught the lining everywhere, which is good. I'm going to just go ahead. If you have done the curved ones, you may want to take your pinking shears to your curves. I'm just going to take my scissors and just cut where my points are a little bit, like so, just on an angle without cutting through my stitching. This will just help get a better corner on each of these places. We don't have to trim the seam allowance on all of this, just in those places, like so. May have a little bit more clipping to do if you are on your, if you've done the back. Oh, where I got my booster shot, my arm doesn't hurt, but man, it's itchy. So if you see me scratching, I'm scratching my my injection site, I guess. Remove all of your clips. Again, we will be clipping this again. We will be doing this over and over, again and again. I don't trust that not to stay there. Stay. I'm also going to do these ones just at a slight angle too at the top, without cutting my stitching. Okay. And once you have that, you can go ahead and you can turn this right side out. Yours was itchy too, Dawn? I didn't get a sore arm at all, which is funny because I got a sore arm with anything, but it's like a bug bite that just won't go away. It's so itchy. Okay. We're doing not bad time. It's only 5 o'clock. I hope that this fabric looks okay with the white. Trying to go that rose gold theme, so I guess we'll see. It's a different combination I've never used before. Okay, you can see how clipping those corners, how that gets my corners really, really nice here. Okay. What did we do next? Just double checking. So along 2 sides. Okay, I remember what I did now. Okay, so once again, before we top stitch, we want to make sure that these match up. So I'm going to clip them again. We're still a ways away from what we're going to be doing with these, but we're just going to clip them for now, starting with this first. You could hold them in place. I just like to do this just because it's going to ensure that they are not shifting on me. See why I'm going to hate this little inside one? Oh my gosh. Because I did not leave enough. So if anything, for the facings, cut them longer, like way longer than they need to be even. Just so you don't have the problem that I'm having. It's not a bad problem, it's just an annoying problem. You'd like to make a white one? I've had a vision of white with rose gold for a while, and then I had this rose gold fabric, but I wasn't sure about the black and the rose gold and then the white and the rose gold, but I think it'll be okay. Hopefully it'll sell. So all of these bags, all of the tutorial bags go into my market. I'm not selling too much for custom now because I'm trying to put all of my attention into the classes and the channel. Classes kind of have traded the places. Your memberships have definitely matched what I was making with custom, which is great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be able to do this. So when we go to do this, you can see, I can still see some of my lining and stuff. That's going to be okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do is you're going to kind of roll these seams between your fingers, and we are going to end up top stitching all the way around. So I like to just make sure these are going to stay in place. I kind of want to make it so that lining isn't showing too much. We are almost done the flap, I promise. But I thought it was best to start with the part I thought was the hardest. Yeah, this is the bonded, the white bonded leather from, or bonded, whatever it's called, white bonded leather. Is that what it's called, Anna? From Galaxy Customs. I don't think she has anymore. I think I got it kind of on a one-time sale or something. I'm sad that there's no more. But I bought all of the colors. I think I have elephant left. I just love the feel of it. It's just really luxurious and awesome. Whew, I'm warm. So again, you don't need to clip it like I'm doing. This is just what I like to do just because I want to make sure everything doesn't move. Oop, did something, I lost a clip, didn't I? Here it is. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and top stitch with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Is that what I did there? It sure is. And you could decide if you want to do a second row of top stitching if you wanted. So let's go do that. Anna says polar bear, and I don't have any left, but if you type in bonded leather in my shop, there I believe 2 other colors available. So if you guys want to try the bonded leather, this one, this color isn't there, but it is luxurious. Like, it is amazing. And Anna has 2 other colors available on her website at Galaxy Customs. Highly recommend. It's my fave. Okay. Clean up some of my area here. Thank you, Anna, for popping on when I said that, because I can never remember what anything's called. I just know I got it from you. Okay, I'm just going to double check that my tension is going to be good. So I'm using, because this is kind of thick, I am using a higher stitch length. On my industrial, I am using a it's about 6 3/4, I guess. I don't know what I would use on a domestic. I think on a domestic, I used to top stitch when I used it at a 4 to a 5, I think. But I just want to make sure I'm good on the top and the bottom. I'm actually going to double check my bobbin because I don't think I had a full bobbin. And my tension is good. Oh, I'm glad I checked. Can you guys see that? It's almost empty. So I would have cried so much. Oh, so she has elephant gray and mahogany. I don't have mahogany. Oh, maybe I need some mahogany. I don't have mahogany, Anna. I don't have the mahogany, Anna. Maybe I need some mahogany. I have to go and look and see what color that is. Okay. So glad I checked my bobbin. Double check your bobbin right now to make sure you have enough for this top stitching. Diane says, I'm using elephant gray for the Cali. Nice. Are you using a print for the bottom of your Cali, Diane? Or is it going to be all one color? Okay, so my tension's good, so I'm going to go ahead and top stitch this. Again, we're not closing up this top part yet, okay? Don't close up the top yet. Just those sides that we sewn. And I'm going, whoop, just a little bit bigger than an 1/8 of an inch because the foam kind of makes it fold. I'm somewhere in between an 1/8 of an inch and a 1/4 of an inch. Oh, mahogany sold out. I guess I'm not getting the mahogany. Check that my top stitching is good. It is. A little bit more. Be careful when it comes to top stitching by your magnetic snap that you don't accidentally sew through it. I am so not used to working with white vinyl. It's nice. Where's my magnetic snap? It's right there. Okay, should be good. quiet because I'm concentrating. I almost did this with the rose gold thread, and then I said, nah, I wasn't brave enough to be that contrasting, and I didn't know how that would look. Probably would have looked nice, but if I don't get a straight top stitch, it would look really bad. It would show so much on the white, so I just went with white thread. I lost my nerve, I admit it. Okay. Okie dokie. There we go. Let me clear some of this stuff away. Okay. So now we can once again take these clips out. Yeah, it's cheap. $13.99 for 18 by 54 inch roll. This bag, you need just like 1 1/4 rolls, we learned last week, so. Okay. So next, and you may not choose to do this, I like my nameplate to be right at the bottom of the flap. Like on this bag here, I have my nameplate right here. So before I go to sew up this top line and to top stitch this opening, I want to install, uh-oh, I just got it black. Dirty, dirty, dirty. We got to install our nameplates if you want to do it in the same place as I do. You can do it wherever you like it. This is just where I like the nameplate on here. Got to make sure we're not poking through the lining. We're just going to be working through this here. So, where's my little ruler? It's so dirty. Okay. So I'm going to measure up where was this one? Okay. 1/2 inch centered from the fold line is where I put the bottom of my nameplate. Again, it'll be different for everybody depending what your nameplate is. And what's my center? There's a 1 inch here. Okay. Oh, that's so weird. That'll work. So I'm just going to install my nameplate right at that line. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at that. I'm making it all black. That's a dirty washer. Okay. And then, again, I'm reaching in here. That's why we couldn't sew this part up yet here, because I only want to be cutting my lining side. Careful not to cut your fingers if you're putting a nameplate in like me. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of water and wash away that dirty part. Wash away. Where's my scrap bin? I'm just looking for scrap material to use as a cloth to wipe that away. My nameplate was super dirty. And I got dirty fingerprints everywhere. Ah! Working with white is fun. Oh, are you, Kim? You're on a spending freeze? I keep saying that and then I buy more. I'm terrible. But I am on kind of a spending freeze except for what I have to buy because I'm going to use my sweater. Ignore me. Because I have to stay for Bali now, so. Did I say lining side or did I say exterior side? We're going through just the exterior side. Again, sometimes I say something different than what my brain is thinking. So do call me on it. Don't cut through your lining side, only through your exterior side. Oops, my upside down, Brandy. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to punch it through going blind. I accidentally said lining. Well, I believe it. You know what I mean. Just do as you see me doing. Sometimes my words come out weird. But yes, don't go through your lining side, just cut through your exterior side. And put your washer on. All by feel. I hate it. I hate working by feel. I always like to put my stuff on where I can see what I'm doing. Ow. I'm poking myself. There we go. This bag. I sell my bags for materials ×3 for all of my bags. Always materials ×3. Oh, look, I'm making a mess. I got dirty hands. So I get a lot of my interfacings and everything for a wholesale price. I would probably be listing this bag at 175 Canadian is what I would sell it for. Doing it on an industrial machine and all, yeah. Okay, kind of make sure this is straight. My hands are so dirty now and I'm making a mess. Okay, does that look straight? I think that looks straight. So it looks straight. I'm going to go in with my duct tape. But yeah, Diana, I sell all my bags, materials, ×3. So I have a chart of what each piece of my hardware costs, how much per meter my interfacing is, all that. I add all of that up, and that is my cost of goods sold. And then I multiply it by 3, and that is my retail. Said I haven't priced this one yet, but I'm pretty sure it'll be about $175 for me. Okay. How's that look? Does that look okay? I think I got everything off. Okay, so once we have that, next, now you guessed it, we are going to finally close up these holes. So rather than using clips now, I'm actually going to use double-sided tape. Again, use clips if your machine does not like tape, because we will be top stitching through this. So we have in between our layers here, I'm going to stick my tape down. Oops. And then we're almost done the hardest part. And I'm so glad that we decided to do this for the first class, because it is taking almost the whole class to do this part. The rest of the exterior goes so fast. Lining goes together almost the exact same way as the exterior. I got to use a little bit more double-sided tape in there. So I'm just putting double-sided tape in between the layers, and then I will start sticking it down. But this flap is such an accent piece of this, so definitely take your time making it look good. So you may come up with an easier way to do it. This is just how my brain works and what I thought worked well. So I'm just showing you pretty much how my brain works. A little bit on these sides, and then we will start pulling the paper off. Okay, this is the side I have a little bit more give than the other. Get in there. The key is just to make sure you don't have any raw edges showing. Oh, this is the side here. Okay. Get in there. The take 3 I will sell for $145 Canadian. You got to figure out what that is US. But again, I may get my hardware and everything cheaper than you guys do, because I do get wholesale. So definitely, and also know your market. Just make sure you're not underselling yourself. At least make double what you've put into it. I do not go dollar per hour. Some bags I make like $25 an hour. Other bags I may only make $10 per hour depending on the bag. Mine is 100% based on just how much cost it takes to do it. And when you come across a bag that you absolutely hate making, which I have some, but your clients really, really want them, you just charge like an obscene amount and then they order it anyways. But at least you're making decent money to make a bag you don't want to make. Okay, come on. Okay, so I'm going to start with my tape on the top, and I'm going to make sure these are lining up nice and even and sticking it down. I'm just kind of doing edge by edge, making sure they line up. Okay, let's do this little edge here. It's kind of finicky with the tape, but it's going to hold it in place for me. Mine aren't perfect either, Diane. Not at all. I can say when I was first starting out and I was on my domestic, I did supplies ×2. And then when I got my industrial and I got better, I started doing supplies ×3. Just don't undersell yourself. But also know your market. Oh, come on. Okay, so these little sides, this is where I didn't leave very much facing, so I got to make sure that it is definitely folded under and there's no raw edge there. Did I get that side? I got that side. Good. This is the side I'm worried about the most. Because this must be so painful to watch me do this part. Okay, so make sure that's all folded under good. Nope, get in there. Come on. There we go. Okay, now just one more long side. No raw edges, no raw edges. You did everything first and then went back to the flap, Diane? I'm one that I always like to do the hardest stuff first and get it out of the way. Like if I can do it first, I do it because then it's done at the beginning while you're fresh. And then the rest of the bag feels like a breeze. Again, this flap isn't hard. It's just finicky. And again, you don't need to be using double-sided tape like I am. You could be holding it with clips as well. I just find this easier. Okay, so I got no raw edges sticking out. Everything is tucked in well. So now we're going to go around here with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and then go back around with a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Diane, I'm afraid to sell that they aren't good enough. We all have that fear, Diane, I promise you. Even I do at this stage of my bag making career. But I can tell you they are good enough. Your bags are beautiful. I have seen them. They're good. If you're worried about it, start small and tell your name. Do supplies ×2. So if it costs you $60 to make a bag, sell it for $120. Or if you're like me, sell it for $180. But again, know your market as well. Okay. So again, we're going to go ahead and we're going to top stitch around this opening with an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and then do another one for security with a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. Again, make sure you have a good full bobbin. I just changed mine, so I should be okay. And take this nice and slow. Now, usually I would pull my threads to the back, but then that tie off is going to show, so I am just going to do a back stitch, but I will do it at the back side. Okay. Yeah, if you looked at the bags at Walmart, they were falling apart. Even if you go and look at some Guess bags or what have you, or some bags at Bentley, you'll look at them and go, huh. You'll actually be fairly surprised at how poorly made a lot of them are. Trust me. And people are loving handmade and custom right now. I mean, you're making them a one-of-a-kind bag. Sometimes they get to help design their own bag, which they love. There's a huge market for it, as I'm getting away from custom because I actually exhausted myself with it. Do not take on 5 customs a week. That's what I've been doing the last 2.5 years. And I burnt myself out with it. So now I only have 1 custom a week. I'm booked all the way to March. Actually, that's a lie. Well, it's because I'm doing December's customs because I won't be here in December. But I was doing 5 customs a week. Now I'm only taking on 1 custom a week. I have 2 customs a week until March right now. And then I'll only take on 1 custom a week. But that's because I want to focus on classes and the channel. And the classes have enabled me to be able to do that. So thank you. I like the teaching end of it the most, to be honest. You will have people that would say, oh, that's expensive. Do you know what? If they say that, they're not your clients. Your clients are out there. Trust me. I used to feel the same way. And I think I counted that I've made 147 bags this year. And, oh, those are the ones that have sold. And then I have 28 here. They're mostly class bags and a few tutorial bags that I have saved for market that I didn't put on my website. But all the other ones did sell. Okay, so now I'm going back in with a 1/4 inch top stitch. I'm going around again. I think purses are a little different than quilting because people will spend $3,000 on a Coach bag. Okay. Success. All right, let me catch up here. Yeah, but a bed and bag doesn't last very long. That's right, Kim. You will be surprised that some will do that. Kim says she's had people at market come up and tell her that she's selling for way less than they should. And she's sold quite a few at market. So, yeah. People who are looking for handmade quality know what they will pay for it. And if people are saying, and I've had people tell me I'm way too expensive, and I'm like, then you're not my customer, right? Oops, I got lots of fun. So this is what it looks on this side. So it's not the prettiest because I used a white thread, and this is what it looks like on this side. And just double check once again that my straps are definitely going to fit in that hole. So it kind of gives you an idea of what that's going to look like. It looks pretty. See? Pretty, pretty, pretty. And that's it. You can go ahead and you can go ahead and you can baste that shut if you want to. I'm just going to leave it for now. Actually, no, I'm going to go and I'm going to baste it shut. We can baste it shut just so it's all holding in one piece. We're not going to be attaching this to the back of the bag today because we're running out of time. We may have time to do the front slip pocket though, which is exactly what I wanted to get done. So let's go baste the bottom of this shut. Don't undersell yourself, Kim. I'll come over and I will give you a whap up the side of the head. I'm sure you could beat me up. Said, I have markets coming up. I have a fear I won't have enough bags. But I also have the fear that I won't sell any of the bags. But last year, I ended up having 12 bags that didn't sell at market of tutorial bags. Only 12 of all the tutorials I did. And then what I did was I ended up having, just before Christmas, I did like a 12 days of Christmas type auction where I created a Facebook event, and each day was a 24-hour auction for a different bag, and I made my starting bid whatever my supply cost was. So say I had a bag that cost $60, I put starting bid $60. All of my clients were like, yes, we're going to get such a great deal on this. And I would usually get my supplies times 2 that way. So my goal with those was to sell those last 12 bags so I could start with a fresh new stock starting in January. So I took those 12 bags, I did that starting bid. Every single one sold at auction. One only sold for starting bid. That was okay. It was an Elvis bag, a circle bag, but I still got $65 for it. So I got my cost of supplies back. I just didn't get my time back. And then all the other ones sold for over the starting bid, and it was just a 24-hour auction. So people would go in and they would bid whatever they wanted, and then it would close after 24 hours had passed, and then that client was the winner, and then they would e-transfer me the money, and I would either deliver or mail their bag. They would also pay for shipping, but that was a really good way to get back my supply costs, not have a whole bunch of purses left over, and they were just gone. Kim says, it's so hard to ask a lot. I have a lot of people at work that are getting interested, so that's a good start. Once they see the quality of your work, Kim, they will not question it. Again, if people think you're overpriced, then they are not your customer. Trust me, your customer is out there. Trust me, trust me, trust me. I used to think the same in the very beginning, and yeah, it worked well. And then when you end up being able to do custom orders, that brings in quite a bit of money too. So, yay! So, do we want to continue doing the slip pocket for this, or do you guys want to ask questions about how to sell your bags instead for the last 20 minutes? Honestly, this is the hardest part of this whole bag. This is the most time-consuming part of this whole bag. As you can see, it took me about an hour and a half to do, and I was sewing pretty much as fast as I sew. So this takes an hour and a half. The rest of the bag probably takes about 5 hours only, if that. So do you guys want to chat and ask questions, or do you want me to move on to another panel of the bag, or is this enough for homework this week just to get this part done? This is a lot of homework doing this flap, and I know nobody was sewing along with me, so we can stop at the flap so you can get this done, and then we can continue with the rest of the exterior next week. Next week, you'll probably get the exterior done within the first hour and a half, and the lining, honestly, the lining, a lot of it will be homework because it goes together almost exactly the same as the exterior. So what would you guys like to do for the last 20 minutes or so of class? I'm letting you set the pace, what we want to do. Or do we want to call it at this, or do I want to go on with something else? Oh, another thing I did before I put on my foam, I put on my purse feet. So my deckable heavies under there as well. Purse feet are not in the pattern, but I put my purse feet in at, I think I said it last class, 2 inches in from the short sides and 1.5 inches up. So I did that as well. What would you guys like to do the last 20 minutes? I'm thinking this is going to be a lot of homework for everybody to get done for next week. So I'm thinking we should save the rest of the exterior for next week. It goes together super fast, the rest of the exterior. And this is the hardest part. Yeah, Melanie, people have to speak up. Comment over, I need a good whack upside the head. I have sold some for so much less than they cost. Kim, no. Melanie, people, what would you like me to do? Continue on? Or stop at this amount so you can just do the flap and concentrate on the flap for homework for next week? I think it's going to take much of your time, to be honest. I honestly think we should stop here. That's why I started with it. But it looks good. Sounds good to you? Just to stop with the flap today, because this is a lot of work, as you saw. Again, it's not hard. It's just tedious. You really just need to take it slow. As you see, it took me an hour and a half to do a flap. It never takes me that long. Stop here. Okay, that's what I figured. That's what I need. So yeah, next class, again, we will be doing the whole exterior. And honestly, like, next class is supposed to be the lining class, but once we do the exterior, the lining is going to go together almost exactly the same, except for a few small things like the turning hole in the bottom. And we're going to, of course, increase our seam allowances, but I will, of course, explains all that. Although your brain hurts already. Aw, give you guys a massage. Trust me, guys, it is so worth it. I mean, seriously, look how pretty it's going to be. Like, your bag will sell. This one is going to sell well. Like, I'm so tempted to do more for my, I don't have time. My market will start in 3 weeks, but, and I have enough bags. Man, oh man. So then, yeah, there won't be a homework class then because I've already finished it. But if you need any help with the flap, okay, we can FaceTime and I can help you through. You can email me. You can talk to the group. You can message me on Facebook. I am at your disposal till next Tuesday. But everybody get the flap done. I promise the rest of the bag goes together really fast. This is the most time-consuming thing. So I would just say, if you're putting purse feet on, put your purse feet on. Make sure you have your foam on the exterior. Decide if you're doing foam on your side exterior pieces. Again, the pattern doesn't call for that. If you are going to be doing the second way of finishing, where you're tucking in the sides and top stitching, do not put foam on the sides. If you're leaving it so the sides pop out, you can decide if you want foam just to have the consistency of the sides and the front and the back with the foam, or you can leave it out. Diane, do you want to make some for me? Okay. I have so many bags over here, you have no idea. I've actually been hoarding them and not putting them on my website because I have a fear of not having enough, but at the same time I have a fear of not selling any. So I go into a market. This will only be my second year doing markets. Last year markets were slow because of COVID. It was the first year that we got back into it. I've done markets with my mom's crochet business, just helping her out. So it was my first year going in with the bags. And I said I went in with 30-ish bags, somewhere in there, and I didn't sell 12. And I did 3 markets, which I think that is pretty good. And I walked away with about 7 custom orders. I will not be taking custom orders at these markets because I'm trying to take on less custom orders. As I said, I'm booked all the way to March already for custom orders. And so I won't be doing custom order callouts now until probably February, where I will start taking custom orders again. I have people already emailing me wanting custom orders for Christmas. I'm like, no, I can't. Sorry. I'm not here in December. Can't do it. So I'm usually booked out 6 months for custom orders. Up until June, I was booked with 5 or 6 custom orders a week. Don't do that. Trust me, you will burn out. That was working 7 days a week. I'd have one day I would cut out everything for the whole week and interface everything for the whole week. And then I would do a bag a day. and it was hard. And I was doing classes on top of that. I think that's why I got so sick at the beginning of August. I was just totally done. So right now I have 2 or 3 custom orders a week, but that's only because I cut down as of September to 2 a week, but now I've had to cram in December's because I'm going away. So I'm doing that and the classes. But yeah, as of January, or as of March, it's 1 a week only, and the classes. So question, Elba says, if I decide to do a vinyl handle over the flap instead of the metal handle, attach it before sewing the lining on, I can place it where the hole is supposed to be. I think so. I would, Elba, I would put like a strip of Peltex or Decavil Heavy on the back to help secure that, and then of course secure it with rivets. Similar, or Elba, did you do the Take 3? Make connectors like the Take 3. Let me grab my Take 3. That would actually work really well. Let me grab one. Ooh. This would totally work because it's kind of the same idea. Do it like how we did on the Take 3, Elba, where we have the hidden connector that goes all the way across for stability on the bottom. Totally do it this way. That would totally work. And of course, you would just place it in the same place where this hole is. That would totally work. And we knew that it held a magnetic snap okay. So yeah, that's actually, I think, how I would do it, is just like the Take 3, but on here. Just an idea. But yeah, otherwise on there, just make sure your magnetic snap is strong enough to hold it shut, because you don't want it popping open, but it should be okay. But if you don't do it like on the Take 3, definitely make sure you have some Decavil Heavy or Peltex on the wrong side. And yeah, but totally, like, I would totally do it like this one. That would be absolutely amazing and so much easier than what we just did. Oh, Dawn, you're interested in this chart? Okay. It's embarrassing. My chart is more of a list. Let me grab it here. So, I have this little book that I have from Emmeline Bags. And inside it, don't know if you guys can see that. I have to change it because I don't use SF101 anymore. I use EB Fuse Light, which is cheaper, but I used to pay $4.60 a meter for SF101. That's when I used to sell it, and I got it for wholesale. Actually, that's about the same price as I pay for EB Fuse Light, I guess, as well. So I have all of my prices for hardware, like foam, whatever it is, a meter. I have it all broken down to what I pay, okay? Thumb locks, all that stuff. Then what I do is when I go through on a pattern piece where the hardware is, I'll put this down on tabletop here. I'll show you my process. How about that? For how I price. I don't believe I'm going to show you guys this, but again, my costs may be a little bit cheaper than yours because I do get wholesale. If you have business, a lot of places you can get wholesale. So I will go down 1 yard of outer fabric or vinyl. I always put $20 for a yard because I never know what it's going to be. That's my guesstimate, okay? So 1 yard of fabric or vinyl, I can usually get that for $20-ish, whether it may be a little bit less, it may be a little bit more, but that's what I use. 3/4, okay, 1 yard of lining fabric. I'm going to put $20 because I can go to Fabricland and my lining fabric may be $10, but majority of the time it's $20 or more. These are Canadian prices for my American friends here. 3/4 yard of woven interfacing. I don't have my calculator here. So $4.60 I pay per meter, say. I'm just going to guesstimate. We'll say $3.75, okay? Foam. What do I have for foam? I pay $7.80 a meter for foam. Zipper tape and 1 pull. So I have on my list here, my zipper, I pay $1.40 a meter, and my pulls are about 60 cents. Okay, so I just marked down what everything is. But I don't know what all my things are. Like, I don't remember what my handles were. Then I add everything up, and I go on the front of the pattern, I write cost of good, and then I put retail. So then I would add up the cost of everything all the way to the bottom, add them up, put it here, say this was $60 or $50 or whatever. It's obviously more than that because we use so much fabric in this bag. And then I multiply it by 3, and I may adjust it by $10 one way or the other. I know I cannot sell bags for the life of me for over $200 in the Kamloops area, so I will make it be $195, because if it's $200 it won't sell, but if it's $195 it will. Do not ask me why. But that's what I do whenever I have a pattern. Again, I haven't priced out my Melanie bag. I assume it's going to be about $175 when I look at it. But when I go through and I have my list here of what all my costs are for everything, I just write it down beside it and figure it out that way. Does that help? That's what I do. How did you guys come up with your name file and your business? Kim, my name is a weird name, and my husband gave it to me. I think I've told this story before. So my nickname is Bean. My name is Brandy Jean. My dad has called me Jelly Bean my whole life. And Dave, when we got together, liked it, and he just started calling me Bean or Beaner, like it's funny. And then everything is just beans, like we have cocoa beans. And anyways, my business started with crocheting slippers. I didn't know how to sew. It started in 2011, and I was selling slippers and little baby outfits and that kind of thing. And I wanted to make it a business, so I said to Dave, what should I call it? He goes, well, you have all these little project bags of crochet and knit projects all over the house, so let's call it Beans Bags, meaning Beans Project Bags. So we started doing that. And then when I got into sewing and I was actually registering a name, that name was already known. I was already known for that name, so we ended up changing it to Handicrafts, just because if I squirreled away from sewing, just like I squirreled away from crochet, it kind of inhibits everything crafting wise. So that's where I got my name. But I said my name is kind of really long, so but that's where it comes from. I don't know if that helps. Or then there's my mom. She has a crochet business of hats and ponchos, and her name is Cat's Crafty Corner, and it's because she loves cats. They have 3. And she's crafty, and it was in the corner of the house, so she called herself Cat's Crafty Corner. And Dawn says my hubby came up with my business name combining the first letter of my first name plus my middle name. Yeah, that's Dalia, right? Now, Kim, you should be able to come up with something really artistic with the last name Artman. You already got art in your name. Yay. So yeah, a lot of people ask me, why Bean? It's like, it's because it's my name. My friends don't call me Bean. Just my dad. Well, he calls me Jelly Bean. Calls me Jelly Bean, Muffin, Muffin Annie, and Bran Muffin, Pumpkin, Turnip. My dad calls me a lot of things. But Dave calls me Bean. And then Coco, when we adopted her, she came with the name, and then we just added on Beans because it's Cocoa Beans. I mean, of course. She's kind of become the mascot. She's been quiet today, hey? Any other questions? And speaking of wholesale gold member type thing, if you have a business name and a business number, as a sole, I'm just a sole proprietor. That's in Canada. I don't know how it works in the States, but you can apply to Emmeline Bags to get that membership, so you get the discount. I save a ton of money on my hardware through Emmeline Bags with my business discount. Artman's Artistry. That's cute. Yay. So what did you guys all think of this class? Was it okay? I'm glad we got the flap done. I'm glad we stopped at the flap as well. Your Stitch Fix art, that's cute too. Definitely do something with art. And you can make her like a really pretty font with that A and everything too. Any other questions before we call it? It's already 5 to 6. So we filled that last 20 minutes up a little bit. That's good. I hope that that was helpful, how I priced my bags. Class was awesome. Good. Again, when you guys, I said it went a little bit fast because there's no one really sewing along with me. Oh, Diane calls hers Bonds bags. There you go. Elba is sewing chaos. Ooh, I like that. Sewing chaos. I do like that name, Elba. That's a good one. Oh, Benny's scratching at the door again. I think he wants me to go cuddle him. Too funny. All right, so if there are no more questions, I am going to call it, and I'm going to go make some dinner. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We had a lot of people on today, which is great. Alba, I'm glad you're doing this class, too. I hope you hang out with us. It's more than just a class. It's a sew-along and a sisterhood. It's really a lot of fun. Good night, Wanda. All right, so when you guys are doing your flaps, if you have any questions, reach out to me. I am in studio every day this week until Friday at 3:30. I won't be because I have to go help my mom set up her Saturday market. And then Saturday, I am at market with her. Not my market, but just helping her out. And then Sunday, we'll see if I'm sewing or taking a day off. It depends how far I get on my 2 custom orders and that Trailblazer tutorial. Trailblazer tutorial is a custom order at the same time. So I'm killing 2 birds, 1 stone. So hopefully I can get it done. All right. So message me if you have any questions. And I'll see most of you, probably all of you, on Thursday. Good night, everybody. Bye. Oh, and where's